Point out the bounce. Yeah. I'm live now. Oh no, we can definitely yeah. I did hear, yeah. Yo, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing, man? Come on, pull up, join in. I know it seems weird that I be talking. Like I said, I feel I need to explain this to y'all though. Like, if you see me when I start the live and I'm talking, I'm not talking to myself. We record our audio at the same time, so my boy Tracy be on the on the on the audio, and I'm still talking to him until he joins the live. So y'all, I'm not, I mean, granted, I don't think, I'm just an interesting person. I like to have conversations with smart people, so why wouldn't I talk to myself? So yeah, there's that. There is that. Now my boy Tracy live. So
You on here trying to convince the people that you're not crazy?
I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm just letting them know I don't be talking to myself in that moment.
Okay, in that
People.
moment.
Yeah, I talk to myself all the time.
Okay. I want to address the smartest person in the room. I get it, bro. Let's start it off.
Let's start it off. Yo. Welcome to the All Done Podcast. I am Shakes. This is my brother Tracy. Tracy, how you doing, man?
It's been quite a month.
Tumultuous time.
Yeah, it's been quite a month, but I'm here for the family. I'm happy to be here. I'm blessed to see another day, and the Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want. What's up,
Yeah.
family?
You have another chance to keep on swinging for the fences. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, man. We talked about it a little bit before we got live, but you said you've had a hell of a week. I have to find my MacBook charger. I have to DJ this weekend, and I kind of need my MacBook to do so. I have no clue where it's at right now.
Gotta get that together, family. That's the money. Don't mess up the bag.
Oh, I won't mess up the bag. Trust me, I will. Okay, yeah. So I got 13 laptops here. One of them could get the job done. So yeah, man. We here. It's another Wednesday. Another day to chop it up with my bro. Shout out to our listeners. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all starting to run up the numbers a little bit on last week, so let's keep it up. Let's keep it going. Did you freeze?
I didn't freeze, brother. I'm waiting for you, man. Where you want to start?
Oh, you just paused like you not moving, bro.
I know my face was very, very still. I was
Yeah,
looking at
you a ninja, aren't you?
I was looking for that video that people were circulating, where the young man was breaking in or whatever. Do you know
It's in your inbox for sure. I sent it to you.
Yeah, I found it. That's why it looks like I was.
I forgot about that.
But where you want to start?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the
Since
world.
you was talking about that, let's start off with that because I think that was deep. You want to set the background for it, or you want me to set the background for it?
Go ahead and talk yourself.
So what we talking about is it's a video circulating on internet or whatever, and what looks to be a young brother trying to break into a house, but the homeowner was home and came out the back door with a shotgun, armed and aimed at the intruder. The intruder then in turn pulls out his weapon, but honestly, the homeowner had him dead to right, and he instead of things could have went left real quick, but he talked to the young brother. You don't want to do that. He was like, talk to me. And the dude was like, nah, I just want to go. He's like, nah. He's like, just talk to me. He told him, I'm not gonna call the cops or nothing. He's like, but he pretty much talked him down off the ledge, and it was deep. He did what he could to relate to him. He said, let's talk about money, but you got to put the gun down, come in and talk to me, this, that, and the third. So I would like to see what the overall result of that was. Maybe we can find them brothers and follow the story via their pages or whatever. But no, that was pretty deep, and it brings the question though. It brings the question somewhat. I don't because I get some situations that won't happen that way. But how is it?
Some situations.
A lot of situations won't end that way. But no, here's what I'm saying. It brings the question to this: how come people that are supposed to be trained to protect and service can't make that same? More often than not, they don't make that same transaction doesn't happen.
That's fair. That is a fair point.
So I mean, it was pretty cool to see that brother doing that and talking to him. Like I said, I would love to see the end result of what that was.
Would you have blamed him? And I see a lot of people.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, about that. So you know the question, right? Right. So a lot of people are showing a lot of love to this man for trying to talk this young brother into a better situation and getting some understanding. But at the same time, I gotta play devil's advocate. I wouldn't have been. I wonder what the society's outlook would have been if that man would have opened the door and just killed that kid.
You know what? I like to give the majority the benefit of the doubt, and they know the kind of climate we're in and situations we're in, and I believe they're like, well, no, he has a right to protect his home and his family. Like, we don't know who's inside, this, that, and the third. So, you know, that's what I like to believe.
I respect him. All I'm saying is, family that's tough. That's tough to see somebody, have the will to break into your crib and then you come outside and the first thing you want to do is just talk. That's big of that dude. I gotta show nothing but respect. But I do, to the young men, it's not like my man said, right? It's rarely gonna turn out that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, the flip side also, not even just the homeowner doing the shooting. Old boy had a gun. So what if it wasn't no talking? What if he just, once he pulled out his weapon, it was like, all right, now I killed this homeowner. And now we have another different conversation. So it's, again, applause to that individual man, but young kings, man, please don't be running up on these people with their families, with intending harm, because you can't judge a man once you put him in that position.
But you know what? That puts me in brings another point to me. Like, I think a lot of these brothers out here just don't know they have a way out. They don't have nobody to go to, turn to, talk to. Like, they may not know that's there. So him doing that,
he put his life on the line to make that point.
Yeah, that's a fact. But so maybe we can speak to our youth and our brothers that's going through it before they get to that point, or before they get in that situation. Sometimes it's tough because I got nieces and nephews, and sometimes we try to chop it up with them, and it's like, yeah, bro, nah, you ain't trying to hear this, huh? But sometimes, I mean, I think reality set in. Like, he was like, yo, like, he does have to drop on me, and the least I can do is listen.
Yeah, but then I don't feel like that was his energy. His response was to pull out a gun.
Yeah, but he was also, I don't think he was ready to use the gun. Like, he didn't pull out and start shooting right away. You don't know.
Yeah. That is a hell of a risk to try to talk to somebody that pulls out. And again, I have nothing but the utmost respect for that brother. But I can't say that my reaction would have been the same. Yeah, I mean, I think as getting older black men, you can see which young kids are kind of about that life and which ones you wouldn't bust a grape at a fruit fight. But yeah, are you willing to risk your life on it? That man did. He risked his life and it worked out. And I'm glad it was a teachable moment. But I need my young brothers to understand that a lot of these people, a lot of these maybe companies or home break-ins, these people are not about to walk out the door trying to teach you no lesson. So do not
applaud that brother for doing that.
Don't use this as the norm. This is not the norm. This is a one instance where I think we can point the shining light on a brother who tried to do the right thing and use it as a teachable moment. But moments like that, that's a life or death situation. Definitely not always teachable.
That's a fact. Shout out to them. What else we got going on? You heard, I mean, I'm sure you've heard, but with LeBron James' eldest son, Bronnie James, had a scare, or I guess it's still a scare. LeBron James' son is 18, just committed to USC to play basketball. He was on the court at practice and he had a cardiac episode. He fainted. They used an AED to bring him back. It's not a full-blown heart attack, but it's he went into cardiac arrest, which caused him to pass out, man. So that's crazy.
Prayers for Bronny, for sure.
Is that a common thing with athletes now, though, or athletes in general? I want to say
I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it because I think and you got to use your words very carefully in this day and age. But there are a lot of speculation around why, some of our athletes, young people, top, physical condition are having, all types of heart problems, and there's a lot of controversy.
But I don't think it's nothing like that. Like I don't think it's like supplements or PEDs, nothing like that. I don't. If that's what you,
No.
oh, I don't know if that's what you were alluding to or
No,
what.
not at all. No.
So I don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna have to text me about what you may be talking about.
I mean, I think let's just be frank. Let's be frank, right? ABP family. Let's be frank. There are a lot of people saying that you're seeing the Damar Hamlins, and there are a lot of athletes who are, dying suddenly young, heart problems, so on and so forth. And a lot of people are saying it's because, or could it be because people took certain medical procedures? I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
What?
I'm saying because people took certain medical procedures that they are sick.
Oh, okay. Somebody just put it in layman's terms because I didn't know what the hell.
I'm about to say it was going over your head.
Really, I was really lost. Well, no, but here's the thing about that. It's happened. That's not the first time it's happened. It's been happening for a while. I want to say the Celtics had a beloved player who had been in his third year in the NBA, and he fell out and died, and that was way before. Yeah. Chris Bosh, he had to stop playing because of blood clots. I know you're not saying it. I'm just saying
this, but there are many people saying that there's a uptick in young athletes in top physical condition going through similar things. We don't know, just speculation. This is a podcast.
Yeah, no, DeMar Hamlin was because of a hit. But the thing is, these things happened before. This is not the first time these things are happening. Is it possible? Absolutely. Okay. It's very possible. Because we won't start seeing the results of that until later. So it's possible. I mean, who's to say?
So
I'm not a doctor.
What do you say to those people that are obviously going to conflate the two issues, right?
I mean, they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. I'm gonna say this is not a new thing. Football players is collapse from heat stroke. One thing about being an athlete, especially a high level athlete, you put your body through a lot of stress. Whether it's gaining weight really fast, losing weight really fast, even in the practices, the elites, they practice hard, so their heart rate is constantly elevated. So there's a lot of different things that can go into that. So I'm not going to say, oh no, it's not that, but it's not a new thing that's happening.
My point would be, is it plausible? Because I feel like people with podcasts sometimes like to jump out the window. I'm not the jump out the window type, but is it plausible that certain medical procedures had an effect on athletic bodies in a way that we don't understand yet? That's not
far-fetched. That's
not the craziest thing in the world to say. That's not like, oh my God, UFO.
Dwight.
Not that crazy.
Dwight Howard should learn from this. Expand on that. What does that mean? I like it. What does it mean?
Did you see the video of him training his son? That's another thing.
He was pushing him. He was pushing. No, and that's crazy.
People are upset.
A lot of people are upset. Let me tell you something. I seen a post recently, and it was kind of along the lines of, kids need structure, discipline, a schedule, stuff like that. And I don't see an issue. He did, because I screenshot. I meant to post it to the page. Shout out to Rob. But I think it depends. If his son just didn't want to do it, didn't say, "Oh, Dad, I want to train to be this, that, and 30," you're just pushing him for no reason. Cool. But if his son say, "Hey, Dad, I want to be great," that's how a workout goes. Anybody that works out with a partner, that's how a workout goes. You push him to the next level.
Now, but people are gonna push back because this is a kid visibly crying, and obviously his father is one of the greatest athletes on the planet.
The
point is not him being pushed. The point is that people are saying that's a child, and people would want some sort of, hey, if the kid wants to stop, let him stop. where do you stand on that style of parenting? Because it
No.
looked like he was pushing him, but it also looked like little man knew, like, yeah, I'm working out with my father, or my father's pushing me to do this. I don't really have an option.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. That's why, like example, with my bonuses and mine or whatever, I make the choice to not train him now because he's a little younger. He's a little younger.
I'd agree with
So, but when he gets to that age where he's like, all right, I want to take this to the next level. I want to do the workouts are going to be intense. You're an athlete. I'm
So
pretty
you
sure
saying
you
that
didn't push yourself.
so
You didn't push yourself to tears before.
yeah, throwing up, all types of crazy
Yeah,
shit. But are you
so
saying that people are saying Dwight Howard took it too far because the kid is crying on the bike or whatever? Did he take it too far?
Eric Thomas said, "Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You're already in pain. You're already hurt. Get your reward.
So it's fine. So you
Pain is weakness leaving the body."
you don't have okay. All right. No issue with Dwight Howard pushing the son to tears.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
Joe Jackson. You feel me? You feel
We
me?
would have never had Thriller. We would have never had Thriller.
Venus is Arena dad. You hear? Listen, you hear me? Venus is Arena dad. You hear me? Tiger Woods dad. Michael Jordan dad used to up me, up. You hear me?
Okay, listen, hey, all right. As long as I just want the ADP family to understand, like,
Cardiac
yeah,
arrest is a
this is
silent
not.
killer, and it's affecting all age groups. That's how you end up in the ICU. I think you don't really know. You don't know.
No, you don't know. As an athlete,
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't
You
know.
don't know.
As an athlete, you don't know.
Because there may be somebody that works 10 times harder than them and fine. It's just one of those things where there's nothing linked to it as far as these things happening. Like I said, DeMar Hamlin could be traced to he took a hit. Like it was like a 1 in a million chance.
I'm about to say, but the hit wasn't.
No, it was. No, it was. That came out. It was like a 1 in a million chance where he got hit like in between a heartbeat and threw his heart off rhythm or something like that. So 1 in a million chance that happens. It happened to a baseball player too. He took a hit. Yeah, he got hit by a ball.
I think a lot of people are going to continue to have distrust. And like, I wanted to speak, speaking of conspiracies, because those things are going to swirl, obviously, as this medical procedure, as we get longer and deeper into that. But I do have to ask.
And here's the thing about that, though. Well, not the medical procedure thing, because I don't, like I said, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know. No one knows. It is what it is. But here's the other thing about that. Because we're saying that's how you end up in ICU. You got to be careful. We'll use DeMar Hamlin as an example. The whole world saying that happened on a national stage.
It did.
He's back at practice today, meaning, like I told my players before a game. I told them this. I gave a pregame speech, and I said to them, "I'll never ask you to give what I'll give to this game because I'll die for this game."
Sure.
If you hear Eddie George talk about his battle with Ray Lewis that season, he said, "I was willing to die on that field."
He was.
So we can say, "Oh, well, that's how they end up in ICU," which is very true by pushing their body too far. But people are willing to make that sacrifice for something they love, for something they have a passion for. I think if we had people like that in a bunch of other fields and things like that, the world would be different. Now we're willing to let people quit when they want to quit. Oh, well, it's okay.
Yeah, but the Dwight Howard thing, again, you have to take into account. People are not just upset because when you're dealing with children, and this is what I think people are trying to kind of get across. People want to protect children, right? We're supposed to raise children, right? Yeah, exactly. And so you're always going to have problems. And I don't know, like people are talking about Young Miami's child was at Rolling Loud throwing money. I don't know if you peeped that. People on the internet, especially, and in society in general, I think are always when it comes to kids, and I think the concerns are genuine, right?
A lot of them are, but there's no one answer. That's one thing I've learned in these last 2 to 3 years, being with my who called, as Shane called it, my popcorn family. There's no one answer. There's like with me, there's 3 different kids. There's a different answer for each one of them.
Absolutely.
So there's no one answer. Listen, especially for high level athletes, they go through a lot of testing for different reasons. It's like trying to get into the Air Force. The comment said they should have athletes do mandated stress tests.
I think the position of ownership and organizations is, I'm paying you a lot of money. For the most part, I'm going to need you to figure that stuff out on your own. if you need a therapy, these things can be done in house, and we have one on on call. But for the most part, if I'm paying you millions of dollars, I need you. If you need to go get help, I need you to understand, go get help. It's the same thing with the financial literacy thing that we've talked about, plenty of times. Yeah. Could the organizations be more helpful? I think no one would refute that. But again, their stance is, listen, I'm paying you all this money.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah, you got to do the right thing by yourself.
I think it's for us as a community to help them figure that out. And I'm not saying go spend their money for them, but is it for us as a community to start teaching financial literacy at a younger age?
That's a fair assessment.
If they do make it, if they do become these amazing, superstars, it's like, well, I learned at an early age I probably shouldn't go pay $3 million, buy $3 million worth of cars in the first day.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of teaching, this is a brilliant segue. In the news in the last couple of weeks, I don't know if we talked about it, Florida is continuing to Florida.
Yeah, Florida's continuing to Florida, and I'm gonna take it one. No, let's circle it back here.
Go ahead, circle it back. Bring it back.
The other day, I don't watch the news a lot. I don't, mainly because I don't really have live TV. I'm like everybody else. I do a lot of streaming, but I was watching the news. I want to say yesterday. And I'm listening to the news, and a commercial come up for the politicians, like an ad. And I hear them say, yes, I can't even remember the politician's name. He's not going to allow CRT in our schools. And I turned to listen to TV, like, what are we talking about here? Like, what? And so my argument with that is, all right, you talk about CRT, and for those who don't know what CRT is, it's critical race theory, and with that,
Herschel Walker, what it is.
Yeah. Well, Jesus. And pretty much they're gonna say you can't teach anything that paints anyone as like an oppressor or something like that, or something along those lines.
There are many issues that certain politicians and political entities have brought up.
If your comment says if you're not going to tell the truth about Black history, then don't put it in the curriculum at all. And now I agree with that wholeheartedly, but here's where I'm going to take it a step further. If you're not going to tell the truth about American history, because that's not just Black history, that's American history. Slavery is American history. So if you're not going to tell the truth about American history, then stop teaching it. Just say, we good. We're gonna skip it. I'm going to still teach my kids.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
happy birthday to Emmett Till, by the way. Emmett Till would have been 82.
About to bring that up, as another segue, just speaking on what Florida's doing. I mean, your boy Uncle Joe, man, he's bringing a memorial for
Emmett Till.
Emmett Till. What are your thoughts, your man Uncle Joe? Right.
I mean, we get plenty of memorials, but my thing. Listen.
Oh my God.
At least here's a pushback to that. No, here's a pushback to that. No, listen. I get what you're saying, like all this stuff. I know where you're going. You're leading the R word reparations and all that. I know where you're going. But I'm just, what I'm going to say is, at least he's willing to admit these things happened. There's other people who try. No, listen. There's other people who's trying to deny the fact. Like, no, we don't want to teach that.
Oh my God. Okay. So what are you fighting for, bro? What are you fighting for then? That's good enough. That's the
no, absolutely, it's not good enough. And that's why we're in a position we are now, because we got a few things back in the 60s and 70s and all. That's good enough, and we stopped fighting forward. So I'm with you when it comes to we need to fight for our reparations. I'm with you. What MLK say? We coming to get that check.
No, because that's true. But I need to get into this Joe Biden thing because we're entering an electoral year, right? 2024, right? And
local elections is now.
all I heard 4 years ago was how we couldn't let Trump get in and Trump this and Uncle Joe, and it was all of this energy. And now we're 4 years in. His term is up, pretty much. We've gotten a few student loans canceled, right? A few. I don't know if we've put a dent into that problem, but I guess
I need to look into that too.
I guess people could say he tried. I mean, there's been multiple articles about how much he's canceled, compared to how much there actually is. And he can't fix the problem overnight, yada, yada, yada. But my point being...
Ron wasn't bills of the day.
No, bullshit. I don't want an Emmett Till memorial, and I have to say this very clearly for the ADP fan.
Tell me what you mean when you don't want an Emmett Till memorial?
I don't.
You anti-Emmett Till now?
I mean, you can call it what you want. You can spin it and twist it however you want to twist it. But to me, as a Black American whose ancestors come from that's a slap in the face to give this boy a memorial after Carolyn Bryant was alive for how many years, and you chose to do nothing as far as justice for the young man. That woman that caused that young man's death was alive up until, I want to say, what, 2 years?
2-3 years ago, and then she recanted her statement and everything. So.
And nothing. She lived to a ripe old age.
Yeah.
And so don't come now, and then you got his family members at the White House, and this man all talking forgiveness, and this is an Emmett Till memorial. I want to also say this as well. There's memorials to Black people all over the country. Many of them get shot up. Have you seen these articles?
Yeah, I live in Jackson, Mississippi, bro. Yeah.
Well, there we go. So
yeah, they defaced the Medgar Evers statue at Ole Miss and stuff like that. Yeah,
they do this all the time all over the country. And so it feels symbolic again. It feels like I want to be able to teach my kids history, American history, and you gave me a memorial. It feels.
So what's your answer to that? I guess that's the end of the show?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we always end the thing with solutions, but I mean, in the same vein, there are a lot of people going around. Have you heard about the controversy? Speaking of Black history and Emmett Till phony-ass memorials, there's a lot of people who are in an uproar right now about a Jason Aldean song. Are you familiar with this country joint? So Jason Aldean's a country singer, and he's got this song out.
Is he Black?
It's called... No, he's a white dude.
Oh.
And the song is Don't Try It in a Small Town.
Oh, he's talking about Sundown Towns?
The name of the song is, and you can look this up right now as we're kind of talking about it. The name of the song, I believe, is Don't Try It in a Small Town. And people are kind of in a tizzy over Don't Try It in a Small Town.
I can imagine why they would be.
And apparently he shot the video. It's in front of the video is in front of a building where a person was lynched. He shot the video in front of a building where a Black man so many years ago was lynched. And so, in the same vein as all of this, where Florida doesn't want to teach American history and you're giving me memorials, Jason Aldean is dog whistling to a population of the country saying, and I would love to interview him. I wish I could talk to Jason Aldean and simply ask him, what are we not supposed to try in a small town? What exactly do you not want?
Oh, he's talking to niggas.
I don't know.
Excuse my French. Use my French, but he's talking to the N-words.
You think so?
Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk.
Wow.
Sidewalk. Carjack an old lady at a red light. Pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool? Well, act the fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag, and light it up. Yeah, you think you tough? Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. He's snapping. He's talking to the colors. Yeah. Oh, I see what this is. What's his name?
This is 2023. This song just came out. Now, I would like to...
Try that in a small town. Okay, Jason Aldean.
I would like to say, as we speak on these topics, I was at one of my many jobs. Anybody who knows me knows I work a lot of jobs. I like money. So, but at one of my jobs, when this story broke, they were like talking, and there's obviously a lot of white folks that I was working with, and they're talking about it, and they're so nonchalant, and they're like agreeing, like, well, he's just saying don't try it in a small town. And then they're like looking at they're talking about it, and then they would say something, and then like look over at me. They would say something about the song, like, well, if you don't like America, get out. And then like look at me. Well, if you don't want to cause protests, then why are you doing that in our country? All the town's not going to welcome this. And then like look at me. So I'm just.
He said full of good old boys raised up right.
All right, you got. I mean, listen. The lyrics.
Oh my goodness.
But there are people who hear this. My point in saying that with the story about my coworkers at one of my jobs is this is not. It's not some just flippant like, oh man, everybody knows that that's not the America we are anymore. Like people take racism and just like everyone just understands. That's why we don't need to talk about it anymore. I would submit to you that the Jason Aldean song and all of the millions of people who support it is exactly the reason why in Florida and every other state, you need to continue to teach American history.
That's a fact. That man said, what did he say? Got a gun that my granddad gave me. Full of good old boys. Didn't Trump call him something like that?
Listen, this is not, and I was
wondering. I couldn't remember what he referred to these.
He said stand back, stand by to the Proud Boys.
Yeah, but he called the Proud Boys. That's what they was.
Yeah. So these terroristic groups who, I have to say this as well, never seem to get those RICO charges on them, right? You got all these white supremacist groups all around the country.
They hit thing with the weak RICO.
You never see.
Why have I never heard this song? I mean, I know why I never heard it, but try that.
So this is all
small town.
This is all over in the news. The last about a week or so, I believe it came out. And so when people again, you gotta teach American history, because if you don't, this is the opposite of that, right?
If you don't teach them, there's no context to that. Then
exactly.
Then it's like, oh, he's just saying he's gonna stand up for what's right. Nah, I see what that is. You talking about a sundown town, bro?
This is crazy. In 2023, for this man to make a song like this, and then for the most part, people were kind of just like, that's just music, right?
But they don't do that for us.
No, come on.
Our music can be used against us in the court of law.
Absolutely. This man pretty much just threatened an entire population of people, and not enough, in my estimation, not enough people blinked an eye.
That's nuts. I didn't hear about that, and I'm just looking at the lyrics. And is it something common for him, or?
I think if you get into new age country music, I think this is a problem that a lot of that we've seen over and over.
I thought Lil Nas X was new age country music. My bad.
I think Lil Nas X was more like a
gimmick.
And I think to certain extent, and I know people don't like to use this term, but it's very industry plant-ish, right? Like Lil Nas X was never country music. Jason Aldean, Don't Try It in a Small Town, that's country music.
That's crazy.
And so,
I'm gonna call my father after this one.
We're not gonna speak. Don't tell me how much you have. Robin. I can't remember the white woman's last name, but she wrote a book called White Fragility, and we have problems. So I mean, if you don't want to teach it, you don't want to teach it. Just say you just don't want to deal with the issues. But let's not.
They want to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, I'm not the type to pretend that the issues aren't there.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
The signs are everywhere. All you have to do is look. They're everywhere every day. The signs are there. Like, we got a problem we should kind of continue to try to address so that, all parties feel equal in the country that, my ancestors built. But yeah.
My mind is blown by that song alone, bro. Like, I was...
Yeah, man, it's deep. Go ahead. You want to get into Mitch McConnell?
I didn't want to get into him, but for those of you who haven't seen, Mitch McConnell was doing
in Kansas. Pause.
I'm grown.
Kansas. I'm
grown.
All right, fine. Grown. All right. So you don't play the ball. You're not going to play the ball game. That's a podcast topic for it.
Yeah, it is. It is a habit. Sometimes I do it, but neither here nor there. Yeah. Mitch McConnell. Was it a presser? I thought, or was it a debate? He was in
It
some
looked
type
like
of public
it looked like a presser, yeah.
he
Like
was
a
in a
presser.
presser, and all of a sudden he pretty much like froze up. He couldn't talk. They had to escort him off the podium.
Yeah.
They said it was looking like stroke symptoms or something like that. And
Sure.
as much as we disagree with policies and stuff like that, you don't want to see nobody go out like that. So you know,
Not at all.
there should be an age limit to politics anyway.
That was gonna be my biggest point.
See,
That was,
I
that
know,
was see
I know,
my
I
note,
know.
my note,
I got you.
my
I got you. We're
my
on the same
note.
page. I got you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was gonna be my feedback on the whole Mitch McConnell thing, and you see many of these politicians, they're sick, they're feeble.
Yeah, they falling on
Let's
during
let's
walking
go
on the
ahead.
stage.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and use this as a moment to say, hey man, let's get some of these people out of here, right?
Yeah, it should be an age limit. It for sure should be an age limit. So what should that age limit be?
Well, I think that there's an age limit to be president. I don't think you can be president until you're like 45 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
you got to be over 45 or something like that
Something
to
like
become
that.
president.
But I think my point would be there's not enough young representation for the young people in the society. In fact, I would say there's no young representation, right? So we got a lot of old white men making decisions for people that some of them, yeah, there are old white men in the world, but there are more old white men in power positions making decisions for a bunch of other people that don't look like them, don't have their same
And Mitch McConnell was 81 years old.
Don't have their same fears, don't have their same struggles, and so that's problematic. And I think again, if Uncle Joe, and I say that in complete jest, in no way,
I say it with love, Uncle Joe.
Yeah, I'm sure you and others do. I say it in complete jest and complete sarcasm because
Uncle,
in no way, shape,
come
or
to
form
the cookout.
is that fool anybody's uncle in my lineage. But
Man, you gotta be a fool.
Yeah.
Uncle come to the cookout. Oh, speaking of, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
It is tough. It is tough to continue to see the same blueprints. And again, for my politicians, if you don't want to see the R word, you're gonna have to do better by the young people that you serve.
But being realistic, are we really trending toward that? Like we keep saying it, the R word. Are we really trending toward that? Is that really something that's gonna happen?
I mean, you let Jason Aldean answer the question.
I mean, clearly it's not because you can't do it in a small town.
Or he's telling you because it's been done in other places, and he's
just saying crime stuff. So he's saying you black folks don't come here and try to rob us. That's what he's saying.
No, that's ridiculous. This man is
I'm
put
talking
out
about the lyrics, bro.
No, this man put out an open threat and fired up a base, a Trump type style base, saying, "What are you trying in a small town? What am I not supposed to try in a small town?" If you believe that, what are you saying? That it's like he has a genuine message, or like
he's telling black people to stay out with the nonsense they're doing?
I think it's deeper. I think it's even deeper than that.
I'm just going by what he said in the lyrics. He says, don't rob an old lady at a red light. Well, now which old lady? Like,
and who's doing that?
If they're trying to rob my grandma, you gonna help?
You gaslighting us, bro. You gaslighting us. It's ridiculous. This is not some overarching like.
I'm asking him. I'm not asking you. I'm just saying if they're trying to rob my grandma, you gonna help?
So there's small towns. Give me a small town in Mississippi, not Jackson, right? Because that's a main. But there's
plenty of small towns in Mississippi. I don't know. Hot coffee, Mississippi.
Yeah, there you go. Hot coffee, Mississippi. That's probably a real place too. Don't try it in hot coffee, Mississippi. Is that you think he was talking about hot coffee, Mississippi? When he was saying that?
He probably was talking about a town like Hot Coffee, Mississippi.
Yeah, you think what would you say the inhabitants of those towns?
Listen. I'm with you on this.
Okay.
He's telling you colored folks not to come to wherever, P Valley or whatever you say.
That's right.
And don't try it in a small town. But speaking of politics and things going on in politics, did you hear the Obama's personal chef died?
I did. A lot of conspiracy around that one. Yo, conspiracies everywhere, bro.
But I meant to get into it, but I'd be busy. So I was wondering what conspiracy could possibly.
Well, look this up, and maybe apparently, and I haven't researched this piece yet. Obviously, we're all busy. I'm going through a lot, but I heard it through the grapevine that the Clintons had a personal chef that died in a similar fashion in like '94.
Really?
Now I don't know how true that is, but I'm just saying, like, it's a there's a lot of weird stuff going on in politics right now, and especially so close to obviously the election coming up in a year.
Mm. So
I don't know.
I haven't seen any conspiracy theories based on on it yet. And so
so it said the 61-year-old she was first reported missing by June 14th, one day after the return. The Clintons personal chef for a long time.
Oh, I said no, he was 45. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, so you got. I'm not gonna. I put the tinfoil kufi on. If you're a personal chef to the president, is it plausible that maybe you heard some things that maybe you weren't supposed to hear?
I'm sure you did, but I'm sure there's other ways for you not to let that stuff out without.
I don't know. I don't know. In my experience, you ever seen the movie The Manchurian Candidate? They're not really into talking people out of. If you hear something, I'll just tell you not to say nothing and let you leave. That's not really how they handle those situations.
See, that's to let you know. Like, they said he was paddleboarding and died. I don't know any brothers that paddleboard. I don't even know what a paddleboard is.
And then they talk about it wasn't in that deep of water. I don't.
8 feet. 8 feet. I mean, but you can drown. You could drown in a foot of water.
That's not a lot of water. Though.
You could drown in a foot of water. Come on, don't do that.
I mean,
don't do that. Don't be that guy.
A pig could fly someday. I mean,
no, a pig could never fly.
Okay, whatever you say, sure, could have water, whatever.
Swim in 2 feet of water, so you could drown in 2 feet of water.
Okay, listen.
Oh, so you went in 10 before you koofy today. I'm just asking
those who are always like, no conspiracy.
I see. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't know.
I'm saying we're talking about we're mentioning a lot of conspiracies today, and for people that get upset and are like, no, there's no way, and like get that visceral anger, that hostility.
Try that in a small town.
For those who get that visceral conspiracies, we come from a country. Since y'all don't want to talk about history, let me break some down for you. This is a country that once had COINTELPRO. Right? We would recruit black people to go murder other black people. We're sabotaging movements. We got plants to deter this movement. We got secret agents and CIA war dog. This is a country that's built on conspiracy and deception in many ways. So don't tell me when people come with a plausible conspiracy. I'm not trying to say, like, listen, there are certain things we shouldn't entertain, but certain things that are
you have to.
Put that tinfoil kufi on and understand the country that you're living in and its history and the legacy of it. Especially if you happen to have this view.
Speaking of, did you watch the Jimmy Foxx movie, Cloning Tyrone? Or they cloned Tyrone?
I didn't see it yet, but we could chop it up about it.
No. We do it later. We'll do it later for sure. Just know it's real.
I'm hearing good things.
Great movie, excellent movie. Super deep.
Speaking of conspiracy,
it's a real "The Pale Horses Coming" type vibes to it. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm hearing
which is the book I read by mistake, by the way.
They're cloning the negative of our society and then reintroducing them into the world. It's deep.
It's deep, bro.
It's
deep. It gets crazy. It's a great movie. 2 hours long, but it's a good movie.
So I think this podcast really got into that conspiracy realm, but I need people to understand that crazy ain't always crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially once you start to break down the history and where some of this stuff has come from. We're not, for those who are labeled conspiracy theorists, some of this stuff, you're not pulling it out your ass. It's like, 40 years ago, America was doing this. They were experimenting
on us and stuff like that.
So, wrap it up, man.
Man. And we didn't even get into some of the other stuff we really came to talk about because that's crazy. But we'll bring that back up next week for sure. For sure. Man, I don't even know how to wrap it up. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up like this. Hey, be careful out there. Don't take everything at face value. Like everything is not always on the up and up. Sometimes things they deeper than what we looking into. Particularly a song like, Particularly like a song that says "Try it in a small town."
Don't try it in a small.
Don't try it in a small town. No, the name is "Try it in a small town." But either way, things like that is like, come on.
Try it in a small town. He said,
his overarching message is don't try it in a small town. But he said he's daring you. So we just got to be honest about what he really means like that. Don't just say, oh, it's just a song. He's just saying he's gonna protect his home now. You know what he's saying. We know the history of sundown towns. Like I said, it's Emmett Till's birthday. We know what happened to him in a small town. So let's not get crazy with that. The Clark sisters who spent a lot of time in jail.
Yo, man, there's so many stories.
So many stories and stuff like that. So sometimes things are what they are, but a lot of times they're a little bit deeper. So let's just be honest about it. Let's keep our third eye open. Let's stay awake. Let's pay attention. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up on that.
Once we talked about politics and politicians, and everybody knows how much I love, our American politicians. Let this be your weekly reminder from your friendly neighborhood All Done Podcast family. These people are not your friends.
I'm just gonna say something else.
I don't care. I don't care how many barbecues. I don't care how much catfish. I don't care how many weird monuments of MLK and Emmett Till. Right? These people are not your friends. Let's continue to hold them to task and, just maybe force them to do the job that we quote unquote elect them to do. And on that note,
say get out and vote.
I mean,
I thought you were gonna say make sure you get out and vote.
You could get out and vote. My question for those coming up 2024 is, what you voting for? You better look at the quality of your life and make a very practical decision and say, is voting serving me the way that it should in a quote unquote democracy? You better make sure that you better make sure that the people are serving you, because that's their job. That is what you elect them to do.
Jason Aldean, try that in a small town.
We're going to play the clip, bro. Yeah, Jason Aldean. Oh, we got to go. It's too raw.
Yeah, we out of here, man. On that note, this podcast is all done. Peace, love.